Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Karachi and in this video we will discuss world of mobile apps. In this video we're gonna give a brief introduction to mobile app world, impact of mobile apps on our society, top mobile stores and threats emanating around mobile apps. We all familiar with the mobile software application, and that's what, it's called mobile app. It's basically a program designed to run on mobile devices to accomplish specific tasks, such as smartphones, watches, and tablets. Mobile applications are similar to desktop application, except these applications have limited functions. Like, for example, like the mobile edition of Microsoft Word has limited functions and capability due to a smaller screen size of mobile devices. See, unlike the desktop edition, which has more features and requires a larger space and layout, therefore, mobile application only includes features that can effectively run on mobile devices. Now, there are three major categories here. The first one is the native mobile application, which is designed for specific mobile operating system and have expanded with the rises of different systems. These applications can be used offline since all user data is stored on a device. But some native games and application may require an internet connection. Therefore, mobile native application can run both online and offline. The second one is the web-based mobile application are similar to desktop web application and can accessed through mobile browsers, which requires fewer computing resources. Okay. Personal data and settings are configured in the cloud and accessed via username and a password. The hybrid mobile application combine web-based and native technologies. They are built using web technologies but wrapped in a native container, allowing them to be installed on a mobile device like a native app. Now, those hybrid applications provide a more seamless user experience than traditional web application and can also access native device features. Now, what is the impact of the mobile apps on our society? Well, let's look at the list here. Now, the mobile app classify into several things. Each one of them has a specific features and application that it did really impact our life. For example, like utilities. Every mobile device have various utility applications such as address book, contact list, file managers, task managers, and profile managers. Now, the productivity, like Microsoft Word, Notepad, spreadsheets, calendar, to-do list, memo, calculator, and many, many more. The multimedia, presentation, audio, player, video editor, image viewer, photos, and much more. Now, the gaming app development is rapidly growing software industry, and this trend is expected to continue with the use of modern visual technologies like AR and VR. Communication, we use it like we use email, mobile browser, social networking, collaboration tools, and much more to collaborate with others. Traveling related mobile app have become a very important part of our lives. There are many apps available that help manage travel related activities such as Google Maps, GPS enabled positioning, currency converters, city guides, language translation, and much more. Now let's look at the top mobile stores. Now, each mobile stores they offer business models for software developers to sell their mobile apps. You know, they all have their own rules and regulation that every developer must follow it in order for the developer to sell their application. Now, some of these rules and regulation related to security, privacy, and revenue sharing criteria here. Of course, The most dominated global mobile application market are Google Play Store, Apple App Store, Windows App Store, and Amazon App Store. Now, the first one we need to look at is the Google Play Store, which is one of the leading online store for mobile application. Now, the store includes those following application, like the mobile application for Android, gaming, music, book reading, movies and TV, and newsstand. Now, by the way, there are, of course, there are also other applications not listed here, but the availability of certain services worldwide varies depending on the factors such as security, commercial, copyright, privacy, and regional policies. Like, however, mobile apps and mobile games are widely available, but other services and subscriptions may be limited to certain countries. Now, if you look at the logo here, you see that something called Google Play Protect, which monitors the application security, okay, of mobile application, detecting viruses, malware, and Trojan horses, and ensuring that they comply with the terms and conditions. By the way, the Google Play Protect uses a combination of automated and manual techniques to scan and analyze mobile application to detect any potentially harmful behavior or code. Now, when the application is uploaded to the Google Play Store, it is automatically scanned by this application, Google Play Protect, to identify any known malware. Also, Google Play Protect also uses machine learning algorithm to identify and flag any suspicious behavior or code within application. Furthermore, Google Play Protect has the ability to monitor the behavior of applications on a user's device to detect any potentially harmful activity. This includes monitoring for unusual network activity, changing to system settings, and other types of suspicious behavior. Now, if Google Play Protect detects any security issues with an application, it will either block this application from being installed or remove it from the device if it's already installed. Now, let's look at the Apple App Store, which, as you are familiar with, it hosts many type of application for different products they sell. However, Apple continuously impose strict guidelines and security policies to increase the quality of apps. The rise in reliability and user satisfaction has been accompanied or basically cause a major significant decrease in the number of mobile application because Apple focus on the quality first. Now, also Apple App Store offer two type of business model. The first one is the paid apps. In this model, users pay a one-time fee to download and use the app. The app is then owned by the user and they can use it as long as they want without any additional charges. The app developer and Apple share the revenue generated from paid apps. Now, in-app purchases, by the way, it's free to download, but users can make purchases within the app to unlock additional features or content. This model allows app developers to offer their app for free and generate revenue through in-app purchases. You know, something to, I want to mention that the sharing of revenue for any business model is 70 for developers, 30 for Apple ratio, by the way. And according to the textbook, Apple has a specific policy regarding the using the word free in the app names for marketing purposes. According to this policy, the platform will reject any app that promotes or includes the word free in this name. This policy is in place to ensure that apps are marketed fairly and accurately according to Apple without misleading users or misrepresenting their features or benefits. Now, Apple uses, by the way, combination of automated and manual processes to check for malware in iOS applications submitted to the App Store. Now, first of all, Apple requires each developer to submit their app to the App Store for review and approval before it can be made available for download by users. Now, during this review process, Apple checks the app for compliance with its App Store review guidelines, which includes rules related to security, privacy, and user experience. Additionally, there is a tool called Xcode by Apple, which scan iOS apps for potential malware. The Xcode is Apple's integrated development environment (IDE) for creating iOS apps, and it includes a feature called static analysis, which scans an app's code for potential security vulnerabilities and malicious code. Furthermore, Apple uses another technique called sandboxing, which is used to isolate each app from the rest of the system, limiting the damage that a rogue app can cause if it is compromised. This means that each app is confined to its own directory and can only access certain resources on a device with the user's permission, which something we discussed before about giving permission to app to access in your mobile. In addition, Apple employs a team of human reviewers to manually review apps flagged by the automated systems, or submitted for special review. These reviewers check for a variety of issues, including malware, data collection practices, and compliance with the Apple's App Store guidelines. By the way, to further enhance security, Apple also includes that requires that all iOS apps to be digitally signed by the developer using an Apple provided certificate. This helps ensure that the app is authentic and has not been tampered with. Another application or another store is called Amazon App Store. Okay, and it basically the Amazon App Store supports the following operating system: the Android operating system and the Fire operating system. In addition to this, Amazon offers different application for Fire TV, Fire OS tablets, along with the Android mobile application. And Amazon App Store is available in over 200 countries across the world. Now, threats emanating around mobile apps, one of the things that you will learn that according to research studies, some significant finding of vulnerabilities and threats found in Android mobile apps and app iOS, for example, like insecure data storage. Some applications are easily to be compromised through malware attacks. Applications with faulty security mechanism were found during the development. Jailbreaking or of operating system application can pose major threat to the application and the operating system. Uh, they found out also like using a third-party keyboard is another component of a threat vector on mobiles. Sending data through insecure external links means no encryption, for example. Now, just in insecure data storage could be like, for example, very weak access control list, and the data stored in unencrypted format. Okay, so there's also another research published back in 2020. They're saying that over 8.5 of mobile apps in the sample had backdoor secrets that can be used for data stealing and spying purposes. Some apps have a master password configured that give hackers access to sensitive information. Now, these vulnerabilities can be due to something was done on purpose or the developer's inability to ensure robust security measures here. The study also found that over 2.7 of the apps blocked user generated content in the name of bullying, discrimination, or censorship component. Now, we all know that the use of mobile app can make mobile application users vulnerable to, many different threats. For example, like they could steal your data stored in a mobile. It could lead to identity theft, loss of money due to malicious transaction carried out on your mobile phones, launching of hacking attacks using your mobile device, stealing medical or personal information for misuse, carrying out ransomware attacks for money. Also, I can add, for example, like carrying out fraudulent transaction through your mobile device, damaging your data and reputation, using computing resources of your mobile device for crypto mining as well. Now, the question is, you're asking, how can users protect themselves from threats associated with the mobile app? Okay, we said this before. Download a mobile application only if you really, really need it, and download it from official stores. Remove any application that you do not need or you have not using it for very long time. Most likely you do not need it anymore. Read the application permission very carefully. Do not allow unnecessary permission. Read the reviews and the comments of the users. Always keep the mobile apps updated with the latest software releases. Do not jailbreak your operating system. Okay. Read the details and terms of use before downloading any app. Log out of the mobile app when you are not using it. Either to turn off in-app purchases or configure the app to prompt you to enter the password for every in-app purchase. Always use very strong password, and I prefer to use password manager. Now, let's look at Android versus iOS when it comes to platform security. We all know that iOS is a closed system, meaning only Apple can access and modify the code. This makes it more secure than Android, but also means that users have less control over their devices. Okay, you all experience this if you have an iPhone or iPad. However, iOS also has their own share of vulnerabilities. An iOS operating system implements, by the way, something very good, encryption that is based on the hardware, which makes it a challenge for hackers to obtain user data. Moreover, the app review process for iOS is more difficult, as I stated before. Now, we know Android is an open source, which means that the code is publicly available for viewing and editing. Although this provides flexibility and customization for developers, it also makes the platform more vulnerable to security threats. Any malicious code can be easily integrated into the system, potentially compromising the security of the device. The other thing is that Android operating system runs on the mobile devices manufactured by many companies, and every manufacturer of the device can use their own custom ROM or base operating system that has software installed that cannot be easily removed or even analyzed for malicious intent. You know. Now, let's look at the homogeneous versus fragmented ecosystem. Now, the ecosystem plays a role in security. OS has a more homogeneous ecosystem because users can run the latest version of operating system. The majority of iPhone users update their devices quickly after a patch is released, according to research. Partly because of Apple's control over hardware and software, this allows for quicker and more effective updates, reducing the risk of known vulnerabilities being exploited. Okay, on the other hand, Android ecosystem is more diffused with various devices and operating system editions, because of different companies as well. They manufacture those phones and they use Android. This can make it difficult to quickly and efficiently roll out security updates, potentially leaving some devices vulnerable to known exploits. Furthermore, some device manufacturers may not, prioritize security updates, leaving older devices at a risk of being targeted by attackers. And I have seen this over and over again. Now, when come to vulnerability comparison between Android and iOS, both of them, they are vulnerable to attacks. What's interesting is that with Android having more overall vulnerabilities than iOS, according to research published in 2021. Okay. Now, however, a higher proportion of Android vulnerabilities are considered to have a low attack complexity, while iOS has more critical vulnerabilities. This suggests that compromising iOS may be harder, but the rewards may be more significant here. Now, updates and update frequency. Now, iOS provides a better user experience than Android regarding updates and frequency. Apple releases a new iOS edition every year and supports devices with updates for up to 7 years. While all devices receive updates at the same time, this is something very important. All of us we receive updates in you know this ensured the timely delivery of security patches, by the way. In contrast, Android's updates can take longer to roll out due to manufacturer testing, and users receive update less frequency than iPhone users, leaving them exposed to potential security weakness and vulnerabilities. Despite this, Android may have a fewer, update issue. Okay, but Apple control over its devices allows for swift delivery of updates, making iOS a better option for users who view security and more important than anything else, like myself. Real world exploits here. Okay, the difference in the real world exploit may be partly due to fragmented nature of Android ecosystem. The wide variety of devices and operating system versions in use makes it even more challenging to create a targeted exploit that will work across all devices, by the way. In contrast, iOS devices have a more consistent hardware and software profile, making developing exploit that will work on many devices are, of course, easier. Now, when it comes to hardware integration, the security of the Android device depends mainly on the hardware and the software. And some manufacturers like Samsung, for example, Samsung is better at ensuring the built-in security feature works correctly. And if you look at the figure over here, this is the Samsung's Knox, which is a security solution, is pre-installed on all of its devices and provides a more secure booting process to prevent unauthorized software from loading. Now, which of the two platforms is more secure? Well, both iOS and Android have vulnerabilities, and it is hard to determine which platform is more secure. While Android has more vulnerabilities, they may be easier to exploit, whereas iOS is harder to compromise. But the vulnerabilities can be more severe for iOS. The security of a mobile platform also depends on the user's behavior and security updates. The choice between the two platforms ultimately comes down to your preferences, and requirements. See, as a user, you need to stay vigilant, keep software updated, use a strong passwords, and avoid downloading apps or clicking on the links from unknown resources. My search security is more critical than convenience, or the open source, convenience thing. So that's why I go for iOS platform. Finally, these are the references, and thank you so much for watching this video.